Welcome to Stock Knowledge and News with Arieous Invest, your trusted source for updates, earnings reports, and actionable insights to sharpen your stock market game. Join us as we explore market trends, decode the latest news, and empower your financial journey with expert stock knowledge. This is Trading Reimagined. Let's get started.
All right, so we're going to deep dive today into this murder case in Manhattan.
Okay.
We've got a whole bunch of sources here about this guy, Brian Thompson, a top executive at UnitedHealth Group who was killed outside his hotel.
Oh, wow.
The suspect, Luigi Mangione, is under arrest. But in Pennsylvania, and what's really got us hooked on this one is that the Manhattan DA is calling this an act of terrorism.
Interesting.
So let's just start with who Brian Thompson was.
Yeah.
He was the CEO of UnitedHealthcare.
Right.
Which, like, for anyone who's not super familiar with healthcare, is basically the biggest health insurance company in the U.S.
Huge.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
So he was in Manhattan, seemingly for business, when he was targeted.
Like it was a hit.
Yeah. And so that brings us to our suspect, Luigi Mangione.
Right.
26 years old, with what looks like kind of a scattered recent history.
Okay.
Maryland, Hawaii, then Pennsylvania.
Huh.
But here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
He was found with a homemade silencer, fake IDs, and a 9mm handgun that resembled the murder weapon.
Wow. Okay.
I know that ballistics takes time, but, like, why just resembled and not a definite match?
Yeah.
Like, is a significant detail or...
That is a significant detail because it could just be a matter of the investigation needing more time to actually confirm that match.
Right.
But the fact that it resembles the murder weapon, it does suggest premeditation.
Yeah.
You know, it aligns with the idea of a targeted attack.
For sure. So, okay, let's talk about charges.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania, he's looking at forgery and illegal firearm possession, which makes sense given the circumstances of his arrest. But then New York hits him with 11 counts.
Oh, wow.
Including first-degree murder and murder as an act of terrorism.
Now, that's where it gets real interesting.
Right.
Yeah, because most people think of terrorism, you know, these massive attacks.
Of course.
But legally speaking, it's defined much more broadly.
So help me understand this. What makes this case terrorism?
Right.
What's the Manhattan DA seeing here?
So the DA's argument seems to hinge on the intent behind the murder.
Okay.
They're claiming that Mangione killed Thompson to influence the policies of a unit of government.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What policies are we even talking about here?
I know.
And whose government?
Right.
This is where it gets murky.
That's the big question that hasn't been answered yet.
Right.
They're not specifying which policies or government entities they're referring to.
And also, it's very important to remember that this is just an allegation from the DA.
Yes, absolutely. This has not been proven in court.
Right. And to add to this whole mess, Mangione is currently in Pennsylvania awaiting an extradition hearing to New York.
Okay.
But from what the DA has implied, it doesn't sound like Mangione is planning on fighting extradition.
So that could really speed up the legal process, but it still leaves us with this puzzle. We've got all these pieces. We've got this high-profile CEO who's been killed.
Right.
A suspect with a very suspicious past. We've got a murder weapon. And then this looming terrorism charge.
Yeah, so how do all these things connect?
What's the motive here?
It makes you wonder, is there something bigger going on?
Right.
Like a conspiracy, or is this a lone wolf situation?
Yeah.
Someone with a personal vendetta tied to healthcare policies somehow.
That's the real question, isn't it? And to really get to the bottom of this case, we really need to watch how this terrorism angle unfolds. You know, what evidence comes out.
Yeah.
Whether any connections surface that might give us some insight into a motive.
Totally. And what do you think is going on here?
I don't know, but it makes you think.
Yeah.
This case really forces us to consider how individual actions can have, you know, unforeseen consequences and intersect with these larger systems like healthcare and government policy.
For sure.
It's a lot to think about.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's our deep dive for today.
Very interesting.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks.
And we'll be back soon with another one.
Sounds good.
Arieous Invest. Trading Reimagined.